functions. If you have any question, you can ask. The function is a new topic here. If you have learned already functions, it will be straightforward and easy. So far we have learned, a set of program which directly executes when I run it. For example, I have, let's say, whenever we create a function in Python, we use a define or def keyword and give a bracket here. Now say hello is a function which will simply print hello. Okay. Now, so they move to, because how we created, we give a define or def keyword, a define keyword, and give the function name, and whatever inside this block is part of that function. So if I run this program, nothing is happening. It is not printing. It is not printing hello world. Okay. Because it is inside the function which will not execute until you call it. So if you have to call that function, it has to be like this, say hello and function. The function name, the moment we give function name, it will call that function, and whatever is there inside that function will be executed. Now we see hello world is getting printed. The order of execution would be, when we run this program, first it will come to line number 4. Line number 4, it calls the function, then it goes to line number 1, and then line number 2, then it comes and prints hello world. This is the concept of function in Python, which is straightforward, no curly brackets and all that. Just give colon and give block of statement inside that function. Okay. The straight away very simple function. The next is, how do we pass argument to that function? Okay, let's say we have an example here called add. So I write a new function called add. And now I accept 2 parameters, x, y. Then here I'm passing 2 parameters, then print x plus y. So just try to understand this flow. So now what is a function name? Function name is add. Okay, that function has only one line which prints x and y. So whatever is the value of x and y will be added and it will print. How do we determine the value of x and y? When we call that function, I'm calling the function add, and then I'm passing 2 and 3. Automatically, the value of x will be 2, the value of y will be 3. We'll print 2 plus 3, so 5 will get printed. That is how we pass argument or passing parameter. So these 2 and 3 are arguments which are passing, and here we can process it. Okay. Now the advantage of using function is it is not dependent on the arguments. That means it will perform the action on whatever arguments you pass. Okay, I can call this function again. This time I can give 5, 6. Okay, so I'm calling the same function again and again. That means I can reuse the function by passing different values. So now it will call this function twice. It will print the result twice. Okay, it's printing 5 and 11. Okay. Similarly, I can keep on calling how much ever I want. I can keep on calling it. 7, 1. So now I'm calling the same function 3 times. 5, 11, 8, it got printed. This is the advantage of using function and passing arguments. Now, this way of passing arguments is called positional argument. Right? That means I'm just passing, it will assume that the first value is x, the second value is y. Okay. But let's say if you want to alter it, I don't want to have a control of this. If you want to specifically send the arguments to the function, you can use this model. This is called as keyword argument. I give x equals 2, y equals 2, and x equals 3. Now we are specifically giving that the value of y is 2 and value of x is 2. It will automatically not take in this order. This way of passing arguments called keyword arguments, or keywords that we are passing. Okay. Now, let's say I'm giving here seven comma. That means I'm passing three parameters. I'm giving x comma y comma z. So now there are three arguments, right? I'm giving x plus y comma y plus z. Three things I'm giving. Now, so can you tell me the output of this program? Y is 2, x is 3. Okay, so value of x is 3, value of y is 2. What is the value of z here? 12. Okay, 12. Okay, great. I think you are attending. Okay, thanks for focusing the class. So actually, the common sense answer what are giving is correct, because we are telling y equals 2, x equals 3. X and y we are telling specifically, but it is understood that the third value is z, right? That is what we are thinking. But when we run this program, it is throwing an error that got multiple values for argument x. Z equals 7. Yes. So actually not, so we assume z equals 7, but this is not the way to give. Either you give z equals 7, but this is what I have given. So what you need, what I'm trying to explain you is the first argument. Okay, the first argument is called as positional argument. Positional. That means since I'm simply passing the value, it will assume that the value of x is 7. Okay, value of x is 7. It assumes first it will take value of x is 7. Then y2, okay, fine, we're telling y equals 2 is fine. But third, I'm once again telling x equals 3. That is why it is throwing an error, got multiple values for argument x. You cannot pass two arguments for value x. Okay, so either you have to give z equals 7, like somebody pasted in the chat, guys. That is one way of doing. Either specifically give z equals 7. So now see 7 plus 2 plus 3, it is 12, it's printing. Okay. Or now watch this carefully. Either you give z equals 7, that is one way of doing, or you accept this in the beginning. Give z comma x comma y. Okay. Now the value of 7 will be automatically taken as z, and y we have specifically mentioned, x we have specifically mentioned. So this program will run fine. 12 I'm getting. Okay. Now this is, we cannot give z in the end and this also 7 in the end. This is also not possible. Okay, because positional argument should be always given first, then keyword. I can give 7 comma 2, and I'm passing here, I'm passing 4 arguments, right? 7, let's say I make it 5. I'm passing 4 arguments, 7, 5, 2 and 3, and y and x we have clearly mentioned. Always it will begin with positional argument. Okay, so I'm giving a comma b comma. Now I can give y and x. See, I can give y and x. The beginning has to be always positional argument and then keyword argument. So I can give here a plus b plus y plus z. Okay. So this is another important question which is normally asked. Not Z, X. Okay. So it's printing 17. Okay, hang on a second. I think my battery. So that is what is this passing argument. So we have tried keyword, keyword or positional argument. Positional argument is also known as unnamed argument. It must be in the order. Okay. Keyword argument is also known as named argument. We have seen this. Next, we will see, you also see the order of it. Next, we'll see default. So only A and B are there. A plus B. We'll have the session 15 more minutes and then we'll end because we started a bit late. So we'll end at 7:45 around that time. Okay. So this is a straightforward program. So A and B are the arguments. I'm printing A plus B and passing 2. But if I pass only 7, it will throw an error, right? Because we want 2 arguments, but passing only 1. What we can give, there's something called default argument. I can B equals 0. So now B, if you pass the value, now the value of B will be 6, and it will print 7 plus 6, 13. And if you don't pass the second argument, it will automatically assume that value of B is 0. Now if I run, it will be 7 plus 0, so 7 is getting printed. So now this B is called as default. So the default argument or default value of the B is 0. This can be anything. I can give 1 also. All the time it will 1, or we can pass. Okay, so that is what is the default argument means. You give it, you declare it A equals 0, B equals 0. The default will be 0. If you pass it, then it will replace to that value. The next is args and kvargs. Sometimes we don't know, like here there is a program. When we do a little bit higher level programming, sometimes we do not know how many arguments a developer will pass to a function. Okay. So this is a function. Greet is a function, and in that, see, first time I'm calling the greet function and passing 3 arguments. First and second are positional argument. Third is the keyword argument. Second time I'm calling greet, but I'm not passing any argument. Okay. So till now we have seen that A, B, C or X, Y, Z. So we know that a particular number of arguments will be passed to a function. But in a scenario where we do not know, right? In that scenario, we use something called star args and double star kvargs. That means this will work as a collection. So args will be collection of positional arguments. Kvargs will be collection of the keyword arguments. If I run this program, if I simply print args, it is going to print all the arguments that we have passed that was positional. And then it will print kvargs, which will print all the arguments which were keyword arguments. Let's say I run this. Just printing hello world 445 5657, and then A is 10, right? Value of A is 10. Second time I called without passing anything, it's a blank. It's blank. Okay. So this is the advantage of using args and kvargs. Now, once we have this, we can access it one by one. For example, I can simply that I can simply access is like an array or list. I can simply give args of 0. Okay. So can you tell me the output of this program if I give print args of 0? I'm giving print args of 0. Tell me the output of this program. We're calling the function greet, passing 3 arguments. Inside the function, there's only one line, which is print args of 0. Tell me what would be the output if I run this. So args is a collection. Don't know. Okay, try somebody else. One more. So args is a collection which will have all the positional arguments. Okay. Args is also a collection which will have all the keyword arguments. So here I am trying to print the first value of the positional argument. 445, 445, exactly. So now if I run this program, it is printing 445 because I am printing the first value of the positional argument collection. Okay. Okay. Again, do not get confused. This args is just a variable name. I can have A also and KW also. Okay. Just a variable. So what is catch is you have to give star. One star you have to give. This means this A becomes positional collection list. 2 stars if you give, it become keyword list. Okay. Now I give. So that is what is args and keyword args. All right. This is just additional thing is how to just cover through while going. All right. Next we'll see. So sometime. So this is a function. Sorry. Okay. Print hello world. Now I give hello. So let me make it more meaningful. My function, and my function. What will happen is in this, so there is a function called my function. It has 2 lines. It will print hello world, and then again it will call my function, which is the same function. This is called as recursion. The first time it will come to line number 5. It will call my function. It comes to line number 1, then line number 2 prints hello world, and line number 3 calls again the same function. Go to my function again, hello world, again my function. This will go in infinite loop. Okay, it will keep on printing hello world, keep on printing because it is calling the same function again and again. Okay, this is called as recursion. So we will see one valid example of this. A factorial example. I think all of you know what is factorial. What is the factorial of 3? What is the factorial of 3? Somebody? 3 into 2 into 1. Yes, thank you. So factorial of 3 would be 3 into 2 into 1, right? So this is what we want to achieve. If somebody enters 3, it should be 3 into 2 into 1 is what we need to achieve. To get that, this is a Python function, factorial. So this is a function factorial, and then it accepts an argument x. In this function, in this program, can somebody tell me which line will execute first? There are 8 lines in this program. There are 8 lines in this program. What is the sequence of the execution? Which line will get executed first? Tell me first line, second line, third line. 3 line numbers, tell me the order of execution. Line number 6, line number 8. Any other answer? Sorry, this 6 was, I think, for factorial. Line number 8 is telling. So when we run this program, the first line that get executed is not 8. It's not 8. One more attempt, please. It is not 8. It is not 2 also. It's not 8, it's not 2, it's 7. Yes. Yes, thank you. See the indent part of it, right? In the root level, there are 3 lines. One is this def line, define line. Second is, we got all sorts of answer here. So I think we'll need to understand this. So define, num, and print. These 3 lines are in the same precedence. It's in the same order. Okay. But we know that define is a function. This will not get executed until we call it. That is ruled out. Now we are left with line number 7 and 8. So the first line that get executed is line number 7. Okay. In line number 7, we are creating a variable num, and the value of num is 3. Okay. After line number 7, line number 8 will get executed. Now in line number 8, we are calling a function factorial and passing the value of num. So in the factorial function, 3 will be passed. Okay. After line number 8, then it comes to this line number 1. In line number 1, the value of x will be 3. Okay. The value of x is 3. It checks a condition. If x equals 1, no. X is 3, right? It is false. It comes to the else part. X equals x into factorial of x minus 1. X equals x is what? X is 3. So 3 into 3 minus 1, which is 2. So 3 into, again it calls the same factorial function, but this time it passes 2. Okay. When it comes to 2, it checks if it is equal to 1, no, else. Now it will multiply. So x was 3 earlier. So x equals 3 into 2, and then 3 into 2 into 1. Finally, it will return the value of x, which is a factorial. This is called recursion. That means this factorial function is calling itself. This factorial function is calling itself. This is inside the same function. Because num is equal to 3, if you run this, it is returning 6. So 6 is the factorial of 3. Let's say I give num equals 5. The same function is accepting the value 5. It's printing 120. This is what recursion means. Okay, calling same function again and again. All right, I think, okay, so we have to end this session here today, and we'll start with the file operation in the next session.